us, though we were a small group that used to hide under the bleachers, we were a pretty big group.
Mm-hmm.
And, that group grew bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger every single step along the way of my life. Yet right now, when we look to the left and the right, sometimes it seems as if our friends are just afraid to admit what they do.
Still there, still very much there. And that's what, we're trying to do with our podcast. And we appreciate all the work that you do. Without having these conversations, those stigmas are going to remain. We have to be out there talking about it to really get people to see why we're so passionate about this and why others should, really feel comfortable with coming out of the closet and saying that they use these plant medicines to heal themselves.
Yeah, and I want to make sure that, our listeners who have tuned in, and earlier, Gina talked about the fact that this for her personally and anecdotally affected her personal health journey. She's not promoting this to tell you that this is going to change your health journey. She's literally giving you some information to say, look it up, read it, investigate it yourself, look at some of the stories that have been out there. And I got to tell you, long before this became vogue, a topic that a lot of people were talking about, I've literally been out there and been public since 2000 and literally testifying and lobbying and, reaching out in states all across this country to make sure that, patients like myself who happen to suffer from MS have access to efficacious medication. And for some of us who have neurological disorders, and, we know that the federal government owns the patent on certain cannabinoids that they have already validated in their patent application how neuroprotective they are. It shocks me, though, that today that people would have the audacity to even open their mouth in a negative way about cannabis. I know that both your states have gone through insane, administrative quagmires trying to move your state voted initiative forward. Talk a little bit about what's going on in Maryland, Elizabeth. I mean, because I know that there was a while. First off, they were going to issue licenses, then they pulled them back, then they're issuing them again, then they pull them back. It's been kind of this seesaw, right?
Yeah, it's been a seesaw, and we're in session right now, and that session is up March 18th, and my sources believe that adult use will not be passed this session. Who knows? I mean, you know how this goes. But, and I feel that's unfortunate because I think our sister neighbor state, PA, is looking like they're going to do it before us. And you're right. All of these states have had their issues, and I think it's always about the money, Montel.